Have you ever faked it? My favorite plant to throw in the garbage.
We are spilling some plant tea in the plant room today with my friend Natalie.
Hello.
She is in here from out of town, and I thought, why not? Let's film some confessions. This is also a very safe planty space. And you guys, if you guys want to share any of your plant confessions in the comments, we would love to hear it. And you've met Natalie in my live that we did last week. Today, definitely, I want to talk about some plant confessions that we just don't tell a lot of people. I thought it would be good for us to kind of share.
Tell the planty truth.
Get some planty truth out there for everyone. Okay, we're going to jump right into the first question. Do you have a plant graveyard corner of your plant room where you purposely put a plant to die quietly?
Per se, a graveyard, no. I have plants that I just ignore and leave them in their spot until they perish quietly.
Do you chuck them away?
And then eventually I get rid of them, but I don't separate them into a space.
Okay, so
a space.
a space right here. So I actually do have a little plant graveyard. I'll put some B-roll on it while we're talking. There is a part right here, and these plants are either waiting to go.
And they're not dead, you guys. They're just, you can clearly tell that she's not in love with them anymore.
No.
And one of them she tried to give me, and I was like, no.
Oh, yeah. the dragon's tail, yes. I did try to give that to you.
I've already had a Raphidophora decursiva that I yeeted into the trash.
Yeah. I think
they're just a hard plant.
I think like plants that you kind of fall out of love with.
Yes.
And
sometimes I will still take care of them if I have a plant swap coming up, a local something. And that way I can just take them and set them onto the big free table, and then they can become somebody else's problem.
Right. You know what? That's funny, because I think like if there's a purpose, then, because like there's that plant that is not doing well for me that you're going to get, right? You were supposed to get today, the philodendron tortum.
Yes.
But I didn't have time to give it a full rehab, and I never want to give somebody a plant that it needs to be in rehab. If I'm going to give a plant to someone, it needs to be doing okay. Unless they know that they're going to rehab this plant. I didn't want to do that to you.
But some of these plants, I would feel perfectly fine taking to a plant swap and just leaving on the free table. Because people expect that.
Let's show a plant.
It's not dead.
It's not.
So this would go on the free table, and somebody would snap this up and cut this up and propagate it.
60 days from now, this plant would do really well. If I'm presenting this to someone, I never want to give somebody a plant that looked like this.
So if we did this, and we did this,
and this,
and we did this, and this,
and this,
okay, it
there you go.
Already looks better. Like,
yep.
This could go on a free table.
Yep.
It's just scraggly. Somebody would take that.
Yeah, and that too. It says this plant just grows so fast. Okay,
yes, and that's why mine's on a moss pole, and I'm constantly cutting it and pruning it.
Okay, so next question.
What is the worst plant advice you've ever received, and did you actually follow it?
I have an answer for this.
Yes.
So there's a plant YouTuber I was listening to when I first got into plants.
Well, I'm so curious.
I'm not going to say the name. I'm not going to say the name. I actually have a personal name for this plant YouTuber. I say corporate plant guy.
Okay.
So
yes, I know who it is.
He said to chop, if you want your monstera to grow, you cut all the leaves off.
All the leaves?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
You cut all the leaves off and leave just like 2 or 3. And I was so young in the plant game, I went ahead as soon as I heard the video. I'm like, should I do this? I really want leaves.
So I wonder if was he thinking the energy that it was giving to the older leaves, you want it to not, okay.
I think that's what he was thinking.
But that's going to shock the plant.
It is.
So
but I did it. I did cut, and you know when I got leaves? 1 year later.
So even pulling off, like, if this leaf was still like yellowing on the plant, there's people who don't even pull these off because the plant is still taking energy out of this leaf.
Yeah.
So
I would see, like, because this was a plant I didn't really care about anymore, I left it, but I would have pulled that off already. Like that one right there, that billet
yeah.
that yellow leaf's gonna go soon.
Yeah, but
I'll
right now the plant is still using the energy of that leaf.
Yep. Yes.
And it's putting on a new growth. So
yeah. But I did it, and yeah, after like it was summer, I did it, and I got absolutely no leaves on the plant.
That just seems strange. I've never heard that before.
Yeah, well, I would never do that again. I think that was, I mean, you listen to things and you try it. What about you? What's the worst plant advice you got, and did you actually follow through with it?
So there's some weird fertilizers that people tell you to use, like banana water and
eggshells,
menstrual blood. Have you ever heard that one? I wasn't ever told that personally. I've seen it on videos, and I'm just like, please don't do that. Like, why? Yeah, just use fertilizer.
Yes.
Get something organic fertilizer that's already formulated.
Have you followed any weird plant advice?
I mean, okay, so when I was first into plants, and everyone, you're the helicopter plant parent, and you're like getting all your new plants, right? Misting.
Oh.
And if you want to mist your plants, mist your plants. If it's going to make you feel good, mist your plants. It made me feel good until I was like, why am I doing this? I don't want to get fungal spots on my plants. It's doing nothing to raise the humidity. I don't use a humidifier in my plant room. I don't need to. I don't want to.
Yeah. I was a mister when I
pebble
first started.
Trays. Like I used to use pebble trays.
Yeah. No, I think I did a pebble tray when I had like a terrarium set up where I would kind of get the petal moist so it can have humidity in there. But
yeah, one of my acrobar, I had a pebble tray in for a while, and I might do that again with that because that's a smaller, it's an enclosed space. But
misting plants, I did try that.
I mean, I just think that's
it's too much work.
It's cute. You have the little mister. You're spending time looking at your plants, and so it was beneficial for that regards because I was looking at my plants every day. But I can do that without misting my plants.
Yeah. The next question is, have you ever prop lifted before?
No. I have never prop lifted.
Ever. I have. When I first got into houseplants, I go to Home Depot and I'm like, oh, look, a succulent leaf is falling off. Oop, it's gone. That's what I did. A lot of succulent leaves. That's kind of what I did. And when I would walk the dogs in our old property, there was some hibiscus plant, like flowers with a wooded stem that I did snip off to propagate.
So I work at a place that sells houseplants. I work at a big box store and they sell houseplants. And part of my job is throwing plants in the garbage.
Oh.
Shopping carts full that the vendor calls from the floor. When they put their new deliveries out, they have to make room. So my desk is in like the back hall of this, like it's a big concrete area with a bunch of doors and no natural light. And I started putting plants from the carts onto my desk. They don't belong to me. They're trash plants.
The plants are meant to go into the trash.
Yes. But when I leave that job, if I would leave that job, all of those plants would go back into the garbage. They don't belong to me.
If you were to take the plants, then
if I was to take the plants home, I would be prop lifting or stealing in general from my company. So I would not do that.
Yeah.
But
Have you ever
Have I
probably
wanted to?
you've wanted to?
Oh,
Oh, of course. I think I still want to. I definitely don't do.
I don't do that anymore.
I'll buy it if anything. I've asked about like an almost dead plant, and he's like, "No, that's still full price." I'm like,
and same. So at my store, we cannot mark down plants. The vendor, because
"Oh,
they belong to the vendor. They don't belong to us until the sale happens.
okay,
So it's some stuff in the retail world, the store buys and then they own it and then they sell it.
okay."
But the plants belong to that vendor
So
the whole
is
time.
that why they don't really mark things down
Right.
like that?
So the vendor says, no, why can't you donate them? Take them to a old folks home. We can't. The vendor doesn't want to. And sometimes, like, I have 3 new ficus on my desk. Now I have a ficus burgundy and a Taneki and a ruby, because I was like, what's wrong with these? They're like, nothing. We just had to make room. So they know
Oh,
that I'll put them on my desk. And sometimes if I see a better plant and I'll take a plant off my desk,
Yeah.
throw it in the garbage and
yeah.
put a different one on my desk.
So how do you feel about if you do have to throw a plant? This is a question. Have you purposely just thrown a plant in the trash because you just didn't want it anymore?
Oh, yes. Recently. Several.
Yeah, just like that.
Yeah. Some of them because of pests, and some of them I'm just like, no,
You're
I
just
hated
not in
it.
love with.
Yeah. And one I gave away, like my squammy. I just was like, I don't want it anymore.
The squammy.
Yeah. I was like, and I wanted that plant forever. Like, it was a wish list and I looked for it and I loved it and I hated it. I just got to a point where I'm like, I do not want this anymore. And I was going to throw it away. And then I found a friend and I was like, do you want this plant? Yes, I would love that plant.
If I can't rehome a plant, it would be really hard I would want to throw it away. There's some plants here that I might chuck away.
I have some Hoya, honestly.
That you're ready to
just, if they're in a prop box, if they live in a prop box.
You never see it.
So maybe I do kind of have a graveyard because I just literally leave things in my prop boxes for years and years and years and years and I never do anything with them.
Just out of sight, out of mind. Next question.
Okay. Which plant do you secretly regret bringing home?
Okay, so there is that begonia right there that I just did a reel on and I forgot about it and it looked dead, but I did put water in and now it's coming back to life. I don't want that anymore. I'll see if I can find B-roll of it. It grew like this big. And
it was a big plant.
The problem with it is that it sheds the leaves and there's so much like trashy leaves on the ground. And I keep having to vacuum every day. So I regret that plant bringing it home. I hardly ever regret some begonias, but that one I do regret. I don't want anymore. It's gonna go into the forest when I decide to do that.
Okay, plant I regret buying. Well, I regret not understanding pests.
Okay.
When I was early in my plant career and buying a goldfish plant that had spider mites. So I regret that plant. That plant was not with me very long. It was beautiful while it was with me until it wasn't because it had spider mites. And it's the only time I've ever had spider mites. And that was 4 years ago. 3.5 years ago.
That's the last time you've had spider mites?
Yeah, Rachel, I don't get spider mites. I get thrips and mealybugs and aphids.
Oh.
I mean, not really aphids too often, but randomly a Hoya in my cabinet will have aphids. And it's the only one plant.
But I think aphids aren't aphids like quick to get rid of?
Oh, yeah. But they freak you out because there's so many of them.
They would freak me out.
So, goldfish plant, but okay, I regret not bringing it into my home, but I regret spending the money on the plant for the payoff that I ended up not getting was Cebu Blue. I love Cebu Blue. I will always love Cebu Blue. Am I going to grow Cebu Blue? Probably not. I have a little scraggly pot that I ended up paying $5 for recently at like a plant event, like a plant swap. And in the past, I've spent probably $70 to gather this piece and this piece, and I would go on my Facebook groups and find them and drive.
So with the cedar wood, do you want to get the fenestrated leaves? Or?
And I bought one that was a hanging basket from a local nursery that had long, like probably 3 feet long vines, and some of the vines had fenestrations.
Wow.
And so then I was trying to put on a moss pole, and then I killed the plant. Like, I just can't. It's a plant. It doesn't love me like I love it.
Yeah.
So I regret spending the money. Yeah, that's what mine looks very similar to that one, the one that I have now. I would love to get it fenestrated. I don't think that I'm ever going to. I just don't think that I want to put the energy into it.
What's one plant trend you secretly can't stand but pretend to like it?
A plant trend I secretly can't stand.
While you're thinking about it, I'm going to answer.
Okay, good, because I want to hear yours.
Yes. Okay, so I cannot stand the Instagram plant trend that says, buy that plant. You need that plant. It's always great to get a plant. I still put it in comments because it's like when you're commenting, you're commenting. I absolutely hate that plant trend because it teaches, like, if it's a new plant person, the new plant person is hearing, get a plant. It's always say yes to a plant. It's so much better to buy a plant. You need that plant. It's like, this is what you're teaching new plant people, and it's like causing this concept of we always need a plant. And now that I'm in this plant curating thing, you really don't need that plant. No. You don't need to get that plant. You can admire it from somebody else's plant page and see how they're growing it, and then decide later to get it.
So I still can't think of one, and I'm sure there are.
Well, I think, like, we talked about one the other day. Okay. Yeah, we talked about one the other day, and it's the, you shared when you saw someone bring home a plant just a few weeks ago, and they're sharing plant tips.
Oh, yes. Okay. Like, newer plant YouTubers who are only recently into plants will buy a plant, and then, like, 2 weeks later, a month later, not even, I don't know, 3 months before you even have the plant, for like 3 months,
I've learned about it.
They're putting out a video on care tips for that plant. And I'm just like, you can say how you're growing the plant. You can say, this is my environment. I'm in this country, this state, whatever. My plant room's humidity's levels at this, my whatever is at this. This is how much I paid for the plant. This is the soil that it came in. I repotted it into this, whatever. But you don't tell us how to take care of the plant. You don't know how to take care of the plant. You just got the plant.
I agree. I 100% agree
with that. There's other plant people out there who are like, I will never make a care video because I don't want to feel, what's the word?
Imposter syndrome.
Yes, they don't want imposter syndrome. So they're like, why would I tell somebody how to take care of their plant? I just know how to take care. How I take care of my plant. And I'm like, okay, that's true. But if you have established yourself and you've had the plant for many years and you have shown it throughout its life, you can put out a care video because you've established, and you're still putting out how you would care for the plant. You're not telling somebody, this is how you have to take care of the plant. This is what I found. These are the care needs that I found this plant needs.
Yeah.
But I also, if I was ever going to do a care video, it's never going to happen. Never going to happen. I would also put in, like, when it grows in the wild, this is its growing conditions in the wild. Nobody does that.
That's a good point.
Actually, there's one plant YouTuber that I watch that does that, and they're about to put out a beautiful plant documentary. Like they went to Colombia, they saw plants in the wild, and he's putting out this beautiful plant documentary. I can't wait.
That's a good point to make.
But nobody ever talks about origin.
Mm-hmm.
And why. They talk about it came from the garden center. Yes, it came from the garden center, but how would that plant grow in nature?
That's a great point. I think like sometimes would anyone want to listen to origin? But now I hear from you. You
could, yeah. And I know people who, when they do care videos, they do it really nicely. You know, they'll like pop up information on the screen while they're talking about the plant. And you could have it just be, you don't even have to talk about it. You could just have it in words like plant, you know,
ground cover plant
found in, you know, native to blah, you know, mainly ground cover. So we actually were out and about yesterday, and we were talking to a woman, and she brought up Tradescantia, and she asked, she's like, I love mine, but they're so scraggly and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, well, that's because they want to grow on the ground. They're ground cover. And she was like, really? But I want it to trail. And I was like, then you're going to have to just continue to prune it because it wants to do its growth habit. It wants to grow as ground cover. Plants that are epiphytic want to climb something. So your leaves are going to get smaller if you don't give it a moss pole. And yes, the trend with getting rid of moss poles, that's another trend. I don't pretend to hate it. I just don't feel in my collection I'm going to get rid of moss poles. Am I great at maintaining them? No. Am I trying to be better? Yeah. But I also understand the frustration with moss poles, and I understand why people are deciding to do it, but I also think it's a trend. There's a lot of people, because one or two people who founded their YouTube channels on moss poles are now taking their plants off of moss poles. Everybody's taking their plants off of moss poles. So it is like a thing. These bigger name people have followers.
So someone starts it.
Yeah, and it just becomes a trend. And it's fine if that works for you. Like no drainage. I put my things in no drainage. I learned that from my friend who is doing the documentary. Mm-hmm. He puts his stuff in no drainage, and I love it. So I started to do that. And then I tell you that that's the best way to grow alocasia.
Yeah, and now I'm doing it. Yeah. I think like so you find things that does work for you. It's like I did try moss poles. I'm like I can't keep this alive. I can't do it.
Well, so and leca was a big years ago. Leca was a big trend, and then pond became a big trend, and then everyone was trading all of their plants out of soil into pond and leca, and then a lot of people have gone back to soil because you feel like, oh, if I just grow my plants in soil, all the right people are growing their plants in leca and pond. Why? I need to do that. I need to be like them. I need to buy choose the pond. I need to do the best. No, you don't. You need to find what works for you. And my plant room is a mix of a whole bunch of different things.
Yeah, but you said it. You find what works for you.
Yeah.
Eventually, I think like when I started, I've been saying lately, I'm a soil girly. And I think that's what I am. I see results in soil, and I think I'm going to stick with it. And that's kind of what.
Well, and as you have a plant collection, I used to be a helicopter parent. I overwatered. I would always be like, every day I come home, be like, oh, let's bottom water. Let's do this. And now I'm like, maybe next week I'll water you. You need to come up with solutions based on your level of care giving. So maybe for you, since you are a soil girly, maybe you need to add a little bit moisture retentive, something like vermiculite, or add something to your soil mix. Because if you are an underwaterer.
Yes, I have thought about if I'm eventually going to add something. It's like I know I love begonias, and it's like you love begonias, but you're an underwaterer. How does that work? Well, you have to get the right soil that works.
Or trying some things in no drainage.
Absolutely, yes.
And
you figure it out as you
not using terracotta. I love terracotta. I have so many of my plants in terracotta. All of my big philodendron moss poles, everything's in terracotta. Do I underwater them? Heck yes, I underwater them. But I also know that when my moisture meter, which is also controversial, people don't like moisture meters, I love mine. When it's bone dry, I will water that plant. If I find any pockets of moisture in the plant, I won't water it.
I definitely not a moisture meter girly.
You have more of your plants in clear vessels than I do. And you can see that.
I can see. I can tell.
And then
after a while, you just know.
Yeah.
You don't need to. But if I didn't have clear pots for my plants, it would be other things I would have to do to figure out like this is completely dry and need water.
Have you ever faked it? The excitement over a plant gift you didn't want. Have you faked it, Rachel?
I have faked it.
I have faked it. Yes.
When we moved into this house, my friends came over and I see one of them with a plant, and I'm like, oh my god, is that a fiddly fig?
Oh, it's my favorite plant to throw in the garbage.
And what did I do?
Whenever I throw a fiddly fig in the garbage, it's like, ah.
What did I do before she came over? Like within that week, I threw a fiddly fig in the trash. So I threw that in the trash, and then here comes walking another fiddly fig. I faked it. I'm like, oh, I'm so excited to get a new plant. Thank you. I love it.
My boss recently gave me a begonia. Just kidding. No, I think they're pretty. They just grow crazy.
Yeah, you have to control it.
Rex begonias grow all crazy, and that's what she bought me. And then you gave me some cane begonias, and they just get really big and wild, and you just have to prune them.
Yeah.
And I will learn. Was gifted by one of my best friends a propagation station, and it's one of those that was like an A-frame with a piece of metal that had 3 like glass ball vessels that hung from it.
I've seen those.
And you can't put anything in them because the minute you put anything in it, it's going to tip one way. And it's just impractical. It was never practical. And I've never been a girly for like cutesy propagation. Like if I had something hanging on my wall, that's different because it's on my wall. It's one thing. It's not like this thing that could fall over. It's not taking up space in a room that I didn't have any space. And I'm a prop box girly, and she didn't know. She was just being cute and nice and giving me a planty gift, and I loved it. And I used it. I tried to use it, and then I don't know where it is. I think it's down in a bag of stuff that I just need to take to a plant swap.
There's a lot of plant accessories that I have that needs to go to somebody else. Because you buy things and you think you enjoy it, but so I guess
as a new plant parent, though, you're also told to buy that you need all these things, and you really don't.
You really don't.
You accumulate stuff, and or somebody just goes on Etsy and is like planty gift, and then they pick the first one, and you already have 3 of those. They don't know, but you're like, hey, thank you.
The last question: have you ever bought a plant because you're having a bad day?
Oh, all the time. I still do that.
So do I.
We sell plants at my work. I don't really buy them there that often anymore. I don't know, because they're expensive. I feel like they're expensive. Like a peperomia hope for $25. I'm sorry, no, I'm not going to pay that. Like it's a pretty plant, but I'm going to wait for that one to come back in the trash and put it on my desk for free.
For free. Yeah.
But I also drive past a local plant shop. Right, it's like a quarter mile from my house.
Before you go home,
I will stop. Try to just like appease myself by going into the shop.
Yeah, and I just go on Etsy, and that's even like harder because I'm having a bad moment, bad day. I'm on the couch. What do? I'm on my phone. I'm on Etsy looking for plants because I want to feel better. Absolutely. I've had to delete the Etsy app from my phone, so I won't go on there for plants.
So I've never ordered from Etsy.
And I think it's because of where I live. There's not a lot of things around. So, and then like, because I'm not into so much common plants, where I'm going to find a pink polka dotted begonia at the big box store, I'm not. But yeah, Etsy. So yeah, I've had to do that. But now I think I have a handle on it. I don't know how many bad days I'm gonna have. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, retail therapy is real.
So this was fun. We'll have to do this again next year when I come to see you.
Yes.
Plan confessions at your house.
Yes.
So this was it, guys. There is a clip that I'm gonna put on here after this video if you want to stay on and watch it. It's when Natalie and I went to the conservatory. I've got a little footage of that, but it was so much fun, and I'll leave that on there for you to look at it. And thank you so much for coming and hanging out with me.
No problem.
Yeah.
Thanks for spilling the tea.
Yeah. See you in the next video. All right. All right. Goodbye.
Peace out.